Well,
By the way, the FBI was in contact with us and said that because of the nature of the ongoing investigation, they would not join us.
okay.
But we've been in
All right.
communication.
One at a time, please.
Pam Hess with AP. Could you describe in a little bit more detail the video that you saw, when you saw it, which of the 5 were on it, and what caused you to be disturbed by it?
Okay. First of all, I do not know any of the 5 members to identify the person. I do not know any of the 5 members, but the video was, one person appeared in that video, and they made the references to the
general.
yeah, you know, the ongoing conflict in the world, and that young Muslims have to do something. They juxtaposed certain verses of the Quran, which when I read, when I read myself, I'm comforted by those verses, and I'm not agitated. So apparently there is a profound misunderstanding and potential misuse of those verses. So I recall the video is about 11 minutes, and it's like a farewell. And they did not specify what they will be doing, but just hearing and seeing videos similar on the internet, it just made me uncomfortable.
Yeah. Again, we can't go into too many details. Yeah.
Did the families tell you what they suspected their motivation was for going over to Pakistan?
Well, as you can see, the families, this is the first time they go through this, so they could not put it together, except when they just felt that they are overseas, and they apparently they saw the video themselves, and they were very concerned. They could not make any conclusion except they disappeared, and they're concerned about their safety.
Actually, to this day, I mean, the motivations or why they went and all that is not clear. It's a subject of ongoing investigation.
They didn't tell you that they suspected they were involved in
I mean,
terrorist activity?
obviously, everything goes through the minds of a parent at that time, but just there was no knowledge of what the circumstances were. So suspicious that we felt we had to bring it to the attention of the FBI, but we didn't have any details of where they were going exactly and anything of that. And even now, we still don't have those details.
How are these young men?
Thank
you. You said that you're going to start an education campaign.
Yeah.
Why? Do you think that they were vulnerable?
Well, as Nihad said, we see this as an issue that needs to be dealt with, not a widespread issue, but one that has to be dealt with nonetheless, and we're going to be doing that along with the other groups you see here and others in the Muslim community to address it in the near future.
What did you hear that made you think we got to start an educational program?
Well, I mean, things have developed since then, the arrests in Pakistan and all that, so we see where this is heading, and we just need to deal with it.
Do you think there may be more?
No knowledge of that.
Just from the educational standpoint, let me just say, okay, since that seems to be our specialty at Mass, we didn't just start yesterday, okay, so this is just not something new, but what we do see is that those in cyberspace who wish us harm as a nation and who do damage to our faith tradition by the way they represent the faith have become more sophisticated. They are out there on the internet. And my kids call me a dinosaur because they deal with the internet, and this is what young people are dealing with. So we realize that the old traditional ways of just bringing them into the mosque and sitting them down in a circle and talking, that's not happening now. So we need to look at more progressive ways to deal with those elements that would try to prey upon the vulnerability of our young people, who will prey upon the misery that we see in the Muslim world. Certainly there are grievances in the Muslim world, but we believe firmly that there's a nonviolent way to deal with those grievances. But there are other elements out there who don't purport nonviolence. They have another way of dealing with it that is not in keeping with what we recognize as Islam. As a result of that, what we need to do is look at how we modernize our educational techniques in order to be able to deal with our young people. Sure.
Hold on, one at a time. There you go.
How did the parents come together, and how did they know the other sons were missing, and how are these men?
Well, I think they just, as parents who know that their we're saying children, adult children, knew each other, started communicating and started putting two and two together. We just can't give out all details on that. We can't give out details on that. Yeah, go ahead.
You already mentioned that one went to Howard University. Were the other four also in universities in this area? Or
I don't have that myself, but again, those are specifics that we just can't give out at this time. Maybe behind you there, right there, yeah.
Can you give us any information as to how they got from Washington to Pakistan?
No, those are details that would have to come from the FBI.
Who arranged for that?
That would have to come from the FBI, yes.
Going back to the video, was it just one of the five who made the video? Where was it?
I myself didn't see it, so.
Well, to be accurate, one person appeared in the video.
And where was the video found?
Again, we cannot give details, but the video is in the custody of the FBI.
What day was it found? What day was it found? Family.
We did not ask, but when we knew about the video
the
and the
course of their
families, they saw the video. No, I think it was left behind, as far as I know.
Are you confident? Did you see it and then turn it over to the FBI? Was that the sequence? Did the family show it to you and then you turned it over to the FBI?
The family saw it. The families gave it to the lawyers, and the lawyers showed it to community leaders, and the FBI were there and they took it.
So December 5th?
That's December 1st.
And you said that I'm sorry, you said the video talked about the ongoing conflicts in the world. Which ones? Afghanistan, any specific ones?
I mean, again, you know, again, there are conflicts between, you know, Western countries and Muslim nations. You can draw your conclusion, and you know, as Mahdi said, you know, young people are vulnerable to these things. But also on the educational thing.
You would characterize it
again,
as a farewell video?
That's how I did not make that conclusion in my mind, but also I saw how it was portrayed in the press this morning.
Young man said in the video.
That's the conclusion that you come. The way they were just saying, you know, goodbye or something like that, you can tell that this is, you know, maybe a final statement.
Did the parents contact you directly, or did they go through their mosque?
The families contacted the mosque leadership contacted us, and they came here, and that's why we see cooperative effort. The courage of the families, despite their frustration and fear, you know, they wanted to put an end. They were looking for answers. The responsibility of the mosque leadership to coordinate with national Muslim organizations like CAIR. All of us collectively worked, and we informed the FBI with the consent of the families, and they knew that this is the best course of action.
Can you give the name of the location of
Hold on, we'll just, yeah, go ahead.
If just one person appeared in this video, how does it relate to the five? Did the person talk about all five of them?
Well, I mean, it seems that they went as a group, so, you know, you can draw your own.
And you said that perhaps it was a final statement.
Well, again, we just can't get into the details of it. Yeah, go ahead.
Is it your belief that the FBI had no previous knowledge of these five individuals?
Yeah, I think we're pretty.
And that it was your tip that led to their arrest in Pakistan?
That's our belief at this time. You know, we have not been informed that they had been followed or anything like that, to our knowledge. But it's our belief that when we brought the case to them, that was the first time they had heard of it.
Know each other. Do you believe that someone in particular or in general was recruiting your Muslim youth to do this?
We just don't know at this point. We'll have to wait for the FBI investigation. You know, again, it's a phenomenon of people adopting extremist views, a very tiny minority of people, and we want to address that tiny minority. Even if we can prevent one case, that's enough reason to go forward. I think that's all we'll take right now. If anybody needs others, you can take anybody on a one-on-one basis. But thank you for coming, and you know, I wish it was on better circumstances.
Thank you. Law enforcement are respectful, and